Yo, hold up. Check this one out. This sound is crazy. Check the bass line out.
Sana was so to alarm by Jamaudo, a be a fight so big and cry, and a tree, Yabasa Sasa, wow, one Sabiana Zawala, made a message to sell by some because a lampa, just Sasantai, a lampine, a lampine, so shut the women moon crampine, or bar time, and a tree, your white sweet, have a seat and tap your feet, no hip from Hammer. Who's a move me and eat smell for me, Kelly Simutre, and yes, I tell you, never, where there's a certain crowd, never drop in time for such a time when I think you bury a yasa. You do me and I do you do. You see move, boom, now see me be sempre move. So the winner no, pretty at the from sample and so ya waho. A woman think a side to woo. We not doing the second 100. I'm a nice to my own that ya so hip. Monza, alarm fire. Caesar, alarm fire. 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 Yada who go just go no begujama wapo party papa and your boy well one side them mouth any amani who diasa na dia ke chena do so akwani so see oba wa dog up chene ni vita se esam opa wo ba chele na na ware oba sade akofie ko pega repeat na ni areka oba ko asaba bobo na tutu wo sase dia wo kochi akoto a high sign ko moti o mopo yo who ha I got you all in tech oba sine dia don't say that can na you know nigga it's down the wreck. They call it say your body say go say what you would do what's the day my apartment current and never BT a tough was say that I prof now I saw we smell off enough I need him About Ben and I'm quite so bay now man you know Russian about Ben now fair journey about Ben you about Ben about for Ben you hey what's your man 50% me about for Ben you when you're and one day cool me about for Ben you hey what's your man 50% me about for Ben you when you're and one day cool me so when I'm quite so baby a tenenia about war on the torso so be a wanting so about war 50 and when you know so it's another day see how we can go and so when you want to win when I'm missing in a dream a pure African pretty girl like me about for being you what's your man 50% me about for being you when you're and one day cool me about for being you what's your man 50% me about for being you when you're and one day cool me about you way me so be a whole thing me the tea burn on a pretty my police on the side if you send me so about what is send at the send now so be beach on some chain now New York we free New York baby and I'm a taste what about the dog fresh and where you are so free London do fear but I taste oh so niche what kind of girl where she cool and crisp where the girl I want she got me in a big fix I heard about the girl and she have the sweetness open from a frame mommy oh about for being you what's from your man 50% me about for being you when you're and one day cool me about for being you what's from your man 50% me about for being you when you're and one day cool me next door we rap ya remember that when I'm in the middle of back of what's the right no one press about fret all day no one the baby I from sesame but yeah me let you sit back that the baby only do for me I say I am on your come on and baby and baby I boss so me can was the man I never china me so I die me promise I home and trust so I can
Fela. And you love these songs, but you probably did not know the engineers, the people, the technical people behind these songs. And well, today we are privileged to have this. Man, I call these guys wizards, in the place, David and Rush. And you've known the name to be DKB. Well, they were in DKB Studios and put out all these magical works. You could talk about Swafo, they did Sugar Daddy, the song just played, the whole album, as a matter of fact, not just the song. Obrafo's Mame, my favorite all-time Obrafo song. They did 6 tracks on that album. Welcome to Hitz 103.0. I know this is your home, but officially on Success Story today.
Thanks, Victor. It's
Man,
good to be
Thanks.
here.
It's a DKB team.
It's a DKB thing, man. But congratulations first of all. I mean, how did you put all these together?
It's. I'm actually wondering that when I hear it back to back.
Yeah.
You're trying to remember. Did I do that song? And then you say, yeah, I actually did. And then, no, it's a good feeling,
right?
Especially when something is almost 20 years old, and you drop it, and it still sounds fresh. It still sounds clean, and it's something that we're proud of. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Rush, whilst playing these songs, I realized your eyes were closed. What was going through your mind at the time?
It's just giving me some, memories that back in the day, how we were working. We were actually selfless, doing all these things. Like we are into the music. We feeling what we're doing. We love what we're doing. We aren't looking at money or anything. It's the passion for it, and it feels very, very amazing when you can hear all these songs being played again, and it feels good. Yeah.
The purpose of this segment is actually to motivate people, to get people to wake up. There are people who are doing stuff and they feel they haven't been paid yet. They feel money hasn't come yet, and they're asking themselves, "Are we ever going to be successful?" So that's the purpose of this.
Okay.
Let's start it off this way. How did you guys meet? Because I think you're a fantastic pair.
Wow, that's a long story. We have to go way back to
right. Let's take it back.
1992.
Wow.
We were both, in fact, we were both teenagers still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what happened is I had been into music since I was like 15 or 16. I'd always had a home studio and so on. And in 92, there was, I think, Pafam. There was a big show where we had Public Enemy coming down. And I think, was it Isaac Hayes, Dionne Warwick, and so on. They were all coming down to perform at Independence Square.
Right.
And I had recorded most of my first album at that point. I think I was 19. I was 19 at that point. And I needed some backing dancers to perform on stage with.
Okay.
So I ended up at a jazz bar. There used to be this jazz bar called Jimmy's in Tesano.
Right.
Jimmy is an excellent saxophonist and he plays the clarinet and all that. He's one of the best.
Which
jazz.
side of Tesano for those that live?
What's the name of that place? It's a place that always floods. Tesano.
It's called Jimmy's Bar.
Yeah, it was Jimmy's Bar. It's not there anymore, but
okay.
it's quite close to the CMB. CMB flats.
Right.
Around that area. So I walked in there and I told Jimmy that I'm looking for some dancers, and he said, "Oh, okay, hold on, there's someone coming over." And then this fine lady walks in and introduces herself and says, "Yeah, she was quite arrogant and all that." And then said, "I'm looking for a dance. Okay, how much money do you have?" I said, "I don't have money." So. We ended up talking, ended up at some nightclub around Avenue that evening, and God, we ended up clubbing until I think 5 the next morning.
Whoa.
And then I ended up marrying her.
What a story. What a story.
The thing was, she was actually the head of the dance group.
Oh.
And Rush is her brother. And he was also one of the members of the dance group. They were Tema-based. What was the name of the group?
It's New Faces.
New Faces, right?
So she used to dance with Reggie Rockstone,
okay.
Slim Basta, all those guys back in the day. And then Rush was also part of that group.
Rush, we be dance how you don't tell me.
People don't know.
Serious dancer.
Shey.
Serious dancer.
Gee.
People don't know.
Rush today. Rush for sure some moves. You know.
Some break dancing.
Yeah.
Don't break it back.
We'll get
He's
into
not as
that.
young as he was.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's how it was, and we had a very good show. At Independence Square went off so well, and then we basically started. We're also into IT.
Oh,
And Rush also had an IT background with hardware. So at that time, I had a computer school. So, everything sort of worked out nicely. We were
Together,
both
right?
into the music, the performing, and then the IT. So it was like every aspect of our life we were compatible.
okay, all right.
And it helped that he was my brother-in-law as well. So,
Charlie, this is a beautiful story. So, I mean, it means that when you met, okay, he had a dance background, and he had the computer thing. At what point or whose idea was it that let's get into music production?
Okay. Already before all these things were happening,
Right.
We used to have a studio in the house, like a 4-track
Studio.
But back in the days, it was like a cassette. David just brought them from London, and he's got this amazing big keyboard. It was already programming at that time, So we have this Atari. Was it
Atari,
Yeah.
right.
Atari,
Yeah. So we were already doing that, but we weren't doing it.
Hey, for those who don't know what Atari is, it's actually a music programming and production software.
Yeah.
One of the first, that
Yeah,
came
yeah,
into the scene.
And it's so amazing how David can turn, just a 4-track recording, this thing into some fat sound, and that's what we're dancing to. So I start getting an idea, because actually, if you have an IT background, because I was doing telephone program at that time, I was doing PABX programming and stuff. So I was like more into it, and I was so interested about what it was doing. I was like, no, I love music, because my mom used to dance, my dad plays the saxophone. I was like, no, this is something so close to me, so I'm just gonna push myself and learn to the highest level. Yeah.
So that's how it all started.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into 17 and the 1 million, part. I'm so interested in that. But before we get into that, all right? So you started, doing music together.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you meet all these guys?
Okay. First of all, let me. We started with Felix Owusu.
Oh,
We producers, executive. We were the executive producer. We actually invest money into his talent.
okay.
Yeah, so that was our first, because at that time where they was working, at that age was still working.
Right.
How
How the 1 million come?
the 1 million has already come already.
Yeah,
That was So we were doing that. So that's
Okay.
where the interest. And when we start into production, by that time we've got that studio in the house. So David keep pushing, buy more equipment and stuff like that. Moved to London, and then that's where we start buying equipment. David start putting his studios together and stuff before I joined him.
Right. So, so Felix Owusu's bit was more of executive production.
Yes.
So now let's talk about production as in technical production.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was, as you said, we moved back to the UK for a little bit. My background is that my mum is Ghanaian, my dad's Scottish.
Right.
So I was born in London and grew up there, and then came to Ghana when I was 17. And then at some point I went back for a couple of years because I also had a business over there to take care of. And the music thing, once it's in you, it can never leave. So no matter what you do, you always find that you're drawn back to music. So the first thing I did after settling back in the UK was set up another studio. So we actually set up a studio in Hackney, which is like central London.
Right.
And then we set it up in a place called the Ark, which is the African Repatriation Community, which is basically a center for Rastafarians who were planning to come back to. So
Right.
you can imagine it was very foggy there, and
Yeah.
all sorts of things going on.
I could imagine.
Cloudy. So we set up the studio there, and then we got to work with some really great reggae artists. I don't know if you've heard of Aswad.
Aswad, of course. Yeah.
Aswad, Trevor
amazing.
Walters was another Lovers Rock. Carol Thompson, Glamour Kid. He was another.
Glamour Kid?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
so we were working with all these guys and their producers, and learning a lot.
Right.
Because over there they had established the music industry, so there were tried and tested principles.
Right.
So we decided to basically go along with them, learn with them, and then it gave us that. That's kind of why we still have that reggae vibe. If you listen to even the stuff I'm doing today, and if you listen to
there's
those
always
times,
that reggae vibe, listen to
yeah.
Abre Nana, know that, right?
Yeah. So the first major project we took on was Pricky Adi.
Right.
Obafefe,
yes.
So we actually flew him to London, and he was working with the same producer as Glamour Kid.
Right.
So that whole album was actually produced by Glamour Kid's producer alongside with us.
Right.
So that's how we ended up with such a great,
sound,
powerful,
and
powerful
very
sound,
powerful.
Yeah.
Our speakers couldn't handle it at the time.
Exactly.
So let's get a little technical when it comes to that production. I mean, since you mentioned Glamour Kid and you mentioned other producers, what kind of setup were you playing with at the time?
My God.
It was a lot. I mean, we invested over $100,000 at the time into the equipment. So it was a top class.
So what was it? What was it? Pro Tools?
No, this was
still
before Pro Tools.
So still that Atari vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it wasn't Atari.
That time wasn't Atari. We
was
had
Cubase.
just come out with a Cubase, and then there was something called Paris, and Sonic Paris. So it was just around that time that Pro Tools was now beginning to emerge.
In between time, there was this software. I don't know if you ever came across it, Cakewalk. Did you ever?
We used it. Yeah. But the problem with Cakewalk, it couldn't keep timing.
Yeah.
So it will skip timing and skip beats and things. So we tried it for a bit and said no.
I think that's why they discontinued it, because I think they.
So Paris was the ish.
Right.
Paris on top of the world. I've never used anything like that before, and it's something that makes the work it's very, very warm when you're working with it and stuff like that. A lot of people didn't know much about it because that's what we use for Pricky's whole album.
Right. So I mean, let's still maintain the technical vibe, because I know there are a lot of wannabe sound engineers, music producers in tune at the moment and here to learn something. Do softwares really make a difference when it comes to music production? With regard sound output and things like that?
They certainly do, yeah. I mean, there's something called the DAW, which is your Cubase, your Fruity Loops, your Pro Tools, Ableton Live. That they all have slightly different characteristics. So when you're using them, and you end up with a mix, if you're very sharp, you can say that this was mixed on Pro Tools. This was mixed on Ableton. This was on Logic.
This is on Cubase.
They all have characteristics. Even though you're using the same plugins, the fact that there's something called audio summing, which is basically when you stack one track on top of another, the sounds all merge together, and then it's computed. Right now it's all digital, so it's all processing power. So each DAW has a slightly different way that they do things, and it comes out in the final sound. So it's easy to tell if you've used them, you can tell exactly where it comes from. Yeah.
Right. So in case you just joined us, we're actually on to the success story. This is where you get motivated, you get inspired, and we have two kingpins when it comes to music production in Ghana in the place. We're talking about Rush. We're talking about DKB Studios, man. David and Rush in the place right now. Now, let's talk about the song or the project that gave you a breakthrough.
Oh my God.
For that period, I think for me it was Exdo.
Exdo.
Yeah, that track.
Google.
Yeah. That was a track for me that I remember. I went to Kumasi.
Right.
I think we're taking Pricky.
Yeah, to a show.
Promotional.
Was it Agro?
Yeah. And then as I was coming back, that time I used a Ford bus. I was coming back. It was playing almost everywhere. On the bus when we got down at the station, and I realized, oh, wow, this song is, and it was a song that I didn't take seriously.
Oh,
me personally, I don't like sampling.
Right,
and that particular track was sampled from I always forget the name.
These two groups.
nice and smooth.
Nice and smooth.
Mark remembers. Mark will know.
It's some.
The sample.
Google, where was this sample from again? The original sample. I forget the track. Is it something Beatles or something?
Yeah. No, Beat Nuts.
Beat Nuts.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Exto
Yeah.
brought it, and it's like, I want you to play this. I said, no, I don't like doing sampling. So I played it, and then I added the horns. So if you hear, there's the da 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 da.
Yeah.
That's not on the original song.
Right.
So it's from that, so we changed it a bit, and then, so I didn't really take it that seriously, but then the song just blew up. And then shortly after that, we dropped Pricky's Obafefefe, and that was even bigger.
That was bigger.
That was the thing. And then
VIP,
from there, VIP.
Mensa, if you don't know.
Yeah.
So it started rolling on. Everybody wanted to work with us, at that time. So it got to the point where we literally got burnt out because it was just the two of us doing all the work. So we were actually running shifts. So we were running 24 hours straight.
Yeah, two of us, yeah.
And it got to a point where sometimes I'll just run away from the studio. I'll tell Rash, look, I'm getting out of here because I can't stand the pressure.
By the time you wake up in the morning, the whole gate is full of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, we had KK Fosu living with us.
KK Fosu was living with us.
He was sleeping
Lots
in the
of them.
garage for like 9 months.
Yeah, whilst we're working on his album, the pressure was there.
It was a really exciting time.
Yeah.
Really exciting time, yeah.
Right. So that must have been a very, very exciting time for you, as you put it, because as you said, Exo's song, for example, you didn't think it was going to be a big deal. What do you think makes a song a hit? Because I'm not sure you expected it to blow up.
Oh, irrespective of that, we were serious at it. He was saying, I know the way David played, irrespective of the fact that he tried to do the right thing as well.
Yeah.
Though he might not have, weren't thinking that it was going to be that big, but the quality and time that we put into that album, because Exto, we recorded about 4 tracks for him. Yeah, and you can see the quality. I mean, what we really based our works on is quality.
Yeah.
And trying to compete with the rest of the other work. So we were concentrating on the quality.
On that.
Because David would never sample songs. If you come, he will tell you that I can't do that.
Yeah.
But still, that
Always
was a song.
original.
Yeah.
And what we always used to do is we would reference our tracks not with Ghanaian music, but we reference it with the top out of the States. I used to use a lot
Tony
of
Braxton
and Teddy Riley's
Riley,
work and all that sort of thing to try and get to match.
So for the student of music production, mastering sounds, when you say referencing, what
so
exactly
basically
do
what
you
you're
mean?
doing is you take a similar type of song in the same genre, right? So if it's a reggae song, you take another reggae song that is a hit that everybody knows, and that sets the standard. So for me, Michael Jackson was always a big thing for me. So looking at his big production and the way from Quincy Jones to Teddy Riley and so on, and the way that they would mix the work and the elements that make up the music and the way that it interplays with the vocals and all of that. So you listen to that track, compare it to what you have, and basically measure up. So you're referencing, if you play this track and you drop your own track right after it, is it going to sound like it fits, or are they going to say no, it doesn't meet it? So that was it. So you always reference other hit tracks and make sure that you meet that standard.
Right. Let's get into this production, which I said is my all-time favorite Obrafa song.
Ghana, my bedroom.
haba. Babada yedi and I mean who be that. Me dream one, me who dear minka, and pa obient me yet, why am I me wo me yase, me mo frase, odin to boise, ahum brasse, and yame huntiase, daddy bisine, intimate me take my bepe one casmida wase, and she ran come within, yame mama holding me, I mean what mamma I meant to not bedding, what you tell me when yami so so, or that way in the diacha manager, a promise to a bring yami tea also, oh, yanko pong. On a boss, on the assassin in Yankon, and now bomb your brain pong. Yeah, Mr. Winnie says, I mean, my minimum print. I want to find out what I saw, and yet 10 and Mama, Mama was it the new world. Super in every mammy, I am part my main camp, in what in Gashanema, into a cocket so cry, ya or not, and can't me area, unto me the Ubuada, or the I am share, hope a prayer, ye may come up head year, because he said, I may home bet on me, only any year, best year, or do more fair fed year, a shrap up na brand here, Mammy J. me so saw this year, when you find a bay year, Mammy Quan a bay year, between you, Bonnie, I fed year, why year, I was so me crap to what me who knew so, coming quite a bonnie, some one for me home before, one mammy knew so, the crane, I mean, who said, what bring me home, papa, or your bar him, I mean to me if I want to cha-cha, I sit down, I will fata, mama, it's a pata. Mommy was sitting here, wow. Brami Aquada, and in Combi and just a mammy Madapa. I say on Yasasa, will soon be Brames for Hannah and I do any penny nadida. Mammy the dead, me mammy Renfrey Wooda. Oh, your batampa, who saw me in Sako school, who shame in crime, mission the Mammy Doctor Who. If I want Timbefia, wish I may yamia wawa to bring a brema shame shoe. Who shame at the mammy who your first Scooby Doo. Or Yana Plesia, what you will be singing up for me. Or the metro will go, or say what I can have a time in chain. Now, what the Casapa baby Sammy Sapabna and never want to sing. Mama Enku see that bang, or Brafo say a dang. Mini Bibia becoming my wife, pony a paba, and I may say my samba. You were wishing Musen and Yamiada Roma, a baby and see and paba. Mommy was sitting there.
And I'm sure you're like, oh, so they're behind this song. Yes, they're behind this song. Amazing composition, great vibe. Now, let's talk briefly about this song. I mean, it's when it comes to instrumentation, I can put this on repeat and listen all day. It's so peaceful, the selection of, instruments and everything. How did this come about?
This song, actually, I consider this one of my worst mixes.
Really?
Seriously, yeah, because it's quite harsh. There's a history behind it. Yeah, there's a history behind it because, see, Mark agrees with me. What happened is I wrote this song I actually wrote it in London. I think back in 96.
Right.
95, 96, and recorded it. And it was originally a song I wrote called All Through December. Right. So I recorded it. It was part of my first album.
Okay.
And then it was sitting there.
Obrafo was not in the picture.
No. Obrafo came. Obrafo first heard this, I think, 2001, wasn't it, around that time?
This one is 2000.
I think 2000. So I was playing him some of my stuff, and then he heard this song. He said he loves this song. I should give him this beat. I said, no, it's my song. I've already recorded it. So he said, please. I said, okay, fine. What do you want to do with it? He said he wants to do a song about his mother. I said, why do you want to take my song? Because the song All Through December, it's quite I won't say a profane song, but it's very raunchy.
Right.
It's about meeting somebody, and it's supposed to be a one-night stand, and you end up falling in love and all that kind of thing. But so I said, okay, fine. So I didn't have the original programming for it.
Oh.
So I had to basically do a lot of cutting and pasting from the original track. So that's why you can hear there are like some joins where it jumps. You see, and people thought that was a drum roll, but it's not. It's just the joint. So that track was already mixed.
Okay.
And because we had to then take the elements out of it, and then fuse in Obrafo's voice, and then putting the other vocals on top of it. I never got the mix sounding good.
The way you want, okay, right.
I never got it sounding good. So I was never happy with the final sound of this track. But it ended up being one of his biggest.
Exactly, it happens.
Tracks,
that's why I was asking that. What really makes a hit? Because here we are, you are actually looking at fine-tuning this and making it sound all smooth. And, well, you didn't get to do that. You put it out, but it became the biggest. I mean, when it comes to Mother's Day, this song would be played a million times.
Yeah. Exactly. So it just goes to show you that music is so unpredictable. And it's about the emotions that it evokes in the listener.
Right.
You sort of thing. So it's not always about being the cleanest recording, the best production. It's about the how it hits you. That's
the vibe it comes with.
Yeah.
Charlie, in case you just tuned in, man, we are talking music, we are talking decibels, we are talking threshold, we are talking compression. Yeah, that's what we are doing here. We are talking about tracking. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, connoisseurs when it comes to the game of music production up in the place. They've done it. They've seen it. They've done it all. They've produced hits. I mean, I know a lot of music producers who are, but have never even been able to make a hit. I mean, they've made huge hits. Now, how many musicians did you guys work with? I mean, I've played a number of the songs you've. Do you recount the number of musicians you've worked with?
Rush will remember those things.
I can remember,
right.
But just forgive me if I miss a name or something. Yeah. We got guys like Mensa, Exto, Abrewanana, Obrafo, Yogi Doggy, Esianfo, VIP, Tic Tac, Uforian Ponsa, Kofi B. The lists are too many. I wish I could remember. What I do sometimes is when I sit down, they keep coming. Sometimes they come and I can remember them. Yeah, because and actually back in the days, they have a group called So Black, which you didn't even So Black, the R&B, and then King's Jubilee. They're from Liberia. Yeah. We actually have a group that came from this French country. They came to stay in our house for 2 weeks. There are like about 40 of them. You remember?
Yeah, plenty. Yeah.
Africa Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, because they moved to Accra to come and record the whole songs before because they were coming like with choir and stuff like that. So we recorded a lot of people, loads of people.
Who was the other one? The Night Train guy, the guy that always used to come with a bottle of Night Train and finish it before he left.
Oh my God, I've forgotten this guy. Is it Eric? It comes with Eric and then Enoch.
There's a
Nanaya Redu.
Oh, Nanaya
Redu. Yeah, we did. Yeah. Oh my God. And then we did. Yeah. We did T-Blaze.
T-Blaze, Secretary.
T-Blaze.
No, we did it with U-Bit. T-Blaze. Oh.
Feeling you
Da,
deep.
da, 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 da. Some song, yeah. And they were playing. They were having a good airplay in Accra. So the list at all.
It's a tall list.
Yeah.
Hey. Hey. And see, I know a lot of recordings done today that don't sound this good. How many years are we talking about here?
Hey, gosh.
18 years.
18 years. And it sounds like it was made today. Yo, man, you know what? See what time reads. I can't even believe that.
Yeah.
It's 54.
Wow.
No, we need to have a part 2 of this. Yeah. Extra 10 minutes. We have to do extra 10 minutes.
Okay.
You know,
Yes. It's a DKB thing.
Yeah, it's a DKB thing, you know. Right. So all these guys, you know, that you've actually recorded and worked with, I mean, which of them was very stubborn, you know? I know every producer.
That one's easy. VIP.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What about VIP?
They're all over the place.
The fights that happen in that studio. I mean, God, these guys, they will get physical with each other.
Yeah.
Rush had to throw them out of the studio a number of times. Wow, these guys.
Sometimes they're gonna say like, let's take it outside and do it outside, man. Let's leave the studio. Let's take it
Or
outside.
they'll go and beat themselves up and then come back. They're cool after that.
And record.
Yeah. Someone has a black eye, someone has a bloody nose and all that. They're cool.
But they know, one thing. At that time, they were so angry. They wanted to make it.
Yeah,
And then they made it.
they made it.
Yeah, they made it. With that song we did, the song was all over the place, and they were like, they made it. Yeah.
I mean, David, I said that we're going to touch on 17, 1 million. I mean, Don mentioned it, so I just thought
Don't slightly exaggerated things.
he said 17.
Slightly.
I saw your phone started buzzing like, yo, so 17.
Yeah, you owe me money, innit?
So how did that happen?
So you know that most people know me for my IT exploits.
That's right.
More than music. So I think music has always been like my passion.
Right.
IT has been my career, if you like. So I started a software business in the UK when I was actually 15 years old, and by the time I was 17, yes, I'd made £1 million, and I was actually offered £2 million from a drug company to buy one of my major software products at the time, which I rejected. Because they actually wanted to buy it and then kill it because it was competing with theirs. You see the thing at a fraction of the price.
Right.
So I was selling mine for I think £5,000 per copy. And
Right.
they were selling theirs for £250,000.
And they wanted to buy it off.
They wanted to buy it off because look, if they sell 10 of them, and this was being sold to all the doctors, the clinics in the UK. You see the thing. So I decided not to sell it off to them, but then I ended up selling about 200-300 copies of it anyway. So I didn't make the 2 million, but I made enough. So I made enough.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't about the money at the time. The money was rolling in and all that, and I was young. But it wasn't about the money. It was about the passion and what I was doing at the time. Yeah.
Wow. So that when that came through, I mean, how has that actually influenced the journey?
Well, for me, look, my parents we lived a very, very modest life.
Right.
My parents were not rich by any measure. I mean, I grew up on second-hand clothing and so on. My dad was basically what we call an odd jobs man in England, where he was able to do anything. I mean, he could build a house, he could do the electricals, plumbing. He was a tailor, he was a bus driver, he was a soldier. A bit of everything. So he taught us that basically the only way you're going to achieve anything in life is by learning hard and by working hard, because if you don't do it yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. So that's something that I really learned from him. So I mean, even to today, my average day is from here. I'm going back to the studio. I'll be mixing a song. I'll probably close around 12 or 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. Wake up at 4:30, go jogging, go to the gym, then come to Hitz tomorrow morning and do the whole routine again. You see the thing. So for me, hard work is just become part of who I am. And if I get very restless if I'm sitting around the whole day doing nothing. I get very, very itchy, and I want to feel like I've achieved something every day.
Right. It's DKB Studios in the place, in case you just joined us. And 2019, you've got something amazing. There's a Dofufro. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
The new single.
That's a new single.
Yeah.
Featuring Samini.
Yeah.
Man, so how did this come about? I can't wait to drop it.
Well, I've told you that reggae is kind of
in the blood.
It's in the blood.
Yeah.
There's something magical about reggae. It's kind of, it works with anything. It's just it cools you down. It can heat you up. It can do everything. So we actually started working with Samini way back over 20 years ago. I think we were actually next door neighbors
Oh,
to Sammy when he was Batman in Dansuman.
Oh,
He was
interesting.
literally the next house from
Right.
us. So we kind of grew up in the area together. So he featured on KK Fosu's
Suja.
track.
Yeah.
So we have this mutual
Right.
respect and for each other. So when I told him, I wanted to feature him on a song, straight away say, yeah, just send it over to me. And then we started working on it. And you see, the thing about getting a good track is that you don't rush it. You see the thing, that song, it took us
you don't have to rush it because Rush is here. I mean,
exactly, he does all the rushing. Yeah. So it took us about 9 months to finish that track.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because we waited till he went to finish his album, he came back.
Yeah,
and,
Untamed.
before,
Sometimes
so,
you have to let it sink in.
Yeah.
You don't just quickly rush into it because
yeah.
then it shows in the final product. See, if you listen to his verse, the way it's delivered, it is so different to anything that you've heard Samini do before.
Right.
The attitude is different to his normal style, but it works so well with my voice in the track as well. You see the thing, the contrast. So I mean, it's a song that I actually can play that song time and put it on repeat, and I don't get bored with it.
right.
Which is a rare thing because I usually get bored with the songs listening, that I've worked on. But this is one track that I can listen to 20 times in a row,
Man.
and I still get excited by it.
I know you can't wait to hear this song. Let's get into it. Brand new music, Odofofro. It's a DKBT.
I wanna take you on a cruise on the Caribbean seas. I wanna take you up, uptown, where the richer folks set the tone with the pound. I wanna take you on a tour and show you what the world has in store. I wanna just be here for you, so you will be there for me. You and me don't stop from jail. Girl, you come in and you rock my world. Babes, you touch me and you burst a spell. Watch me, odoroko, sronkubi. Dream, mami, danda. Mami, tonko, mami, yama, bon, crow, why do? Watch me, aboso. Jimmy, what? Yana, open up and bury me all to certain time. Baby, watch me, aboso.
Oh baby girl, you know say Rasta man love you. Top of the list, I put nothing above you. You are the queen, I man done already told you. Looking at me eyes, baby, come make me hold you. Among the lot, you give me the tightest squeeze. When you need me, Harley Davidson, biker speed. I love you, baby, I say yes I do. You make me wanna go down on one knee and say marry me. Say me who da kukra na makuma. Say me who one day and I'm in Tibugo. Say me who da kukra na misugo. My baby.
Just tell me what you want and I'm bound to get it for ya. Diamonds and pearls, Icolin, got it for ya. Fast cars, training clothes, got it for ya. Multiple trips up, abroad, got it for ya. Just tell me what you're dreaming and I'm bound to make all your dreams come true. Then you can call me Mr. Dreammaker, stuck on you like super glue. Oh baby, 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 yeah. Watch Remy Odoroku, Sronkubi. Remy Odoroku, Sronkubi. Mami Danda, Mami Tonko, Mami Yama Bon Crow, why I do? Watch me, I was Jimmy, why? Bury me all to something time. Baby, watch me, I was even if you're cool about me, cool, cover down the sun, I'm gonna move when I'm home, yeah, to go right to ride. Dream, mommy, danda. Mommy, tonko, mommy, yama, bon, crow, why I do? Watch me, I was so hard. Jimmy, why?
Ah, man. This is golden. David Bolton, Samini, and Pricky's voice is on now.
Yeah, Pricky's in there. Pricky actually wrote this song.
Oh, he wrote the song.
Yeah.
Man, this is really beautiful. Yo, so
Big up, Mr. Yardi.
Mr. Yade, hey, Pricky Yade. Yo, we have tons of messages, and of course we can't do it all. This one's from George Joman, all the way from Germany, says, "I'm one of your biggest fans. Keep on the good work and remain blessed. Peace."
Wow. Thank
And hey, Steve Ezekiel Tete actually hits us up.
Steve Bunting.
Yeah,
Steve
man,
Bunting.
yeah, man. Says turn it up, legendary. And Joseph William Edu says hi, Mercury Nice, Old High Life, DKB do all. Emmanuel Nyamiche Mensah says it's a DKB team, legends in the building. And Young Money says always listen to your submission, David Bolton and Rush on the Daybreak hits every morning, lovely guys.
Thank you.
Dade Peter says they are really legends. And Musa Haran says legends. I mean, the word legends is actually ringing through all the messages that are coming through. And Miss Lillian Dancer says big up DKB. And I mean, that's we can't do more because we are pressed for time. I actually wish we could do a lot more. A lot of messages are coming through, and that's a blessing.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Yeah. We must do a part 2 of this. We must, because we've not even done like
scratch the surface.
There's a lot
30% of it. There's so much to talk about, and I know a lot of wannabe sound engineers, music producers, even ones in the business already in tune and taking notes. Right, so before we end the part 1, I call this the part 1. What would you want to say to people out there who actually want to start? There's someone out there who wants to start, they're scared to start, or maybe they tried and things did not work out. What message do you have for them?
Well, first, my message goes out to people like us who have made an impact in the industry, right? It is our responsibility to impart the experience and knowledge that we have to the younger generation, right? So for me, if somebody approaches me, I will do everything I can to try and encourage them and to, give my experience. If I have the time to teach them, I'll do that. You see the thing. So it's important that the older generation, it can be difficult, when you get so many people asking you for help, but at least encourage everybody, because we were also encouraged. I remember when Mensa was he was about 17, 18,
17,
and he used to bug me in the studio, and I was so aggravated by him because he would bug and ask questions. What does this do? How do you do this? And look where he is now.
Yeah,
you see the thing. So at least I'm proud that I played a small part in Mensa's development to get to where he is now. There's another sound engineer that we inspired, who is now 7 times platinum in the States. He's a producer for Future.
Wow.
And some other hip hop artists.
That's big.
And this is somebody that we encouraged and showed him the ropes. So it feels good to know that people can come to you, and then they can actually get far further than you have. So the other thing is, don't give up. It takes time. You see the thing.
Don't give up. It takes time.
Yeah. And so sometimes you can hear of people that have been in the industry for years. It just takes one break, just being at the right place at the right time. You get the right artist, the right track. You see the thing. And it just blows. And your career is made forever after that. You see the thing. So the moment you give up, you've failed. That's the only certain thing. If you keep on at it, and don't forget, every single song you work on, you are improving. You're learning from experience.
It doesn't matter if it doesn't become a hit.
Exactly. Look, the songs that you've played, maybe we have, let's say, 50 hits. We did maybe 500 songs or 600 songs. Maybe 200 of them would never even released. You see the thing.
Yeah. So they ended up in bedrooms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's only a very small percentage of what you do that will even be heard by the public. So, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't keep on, producing. Every week, I try and make at least 3 or 4 songs, which it becomes like your bank.
Yeah.
sort of thing, your account, so that you can always go there, reach for this beat. Okay, this will match this guy's voice or this girl's voice, sort
You
of thing,
pick
and then
it
you
and-
pick it and then you have it there.
Right. Thanks very much, David and Rush. Rush us with some
Oh,
words.
David has actually said all, but
Right.
I just want to give some shout out to
Okay.
the DKB crew. You know, DKB is an umbrella of a team. You
That's
know.
right.
So I just want to give shout out to all of them for the good work they've done and the support they have, and a GKB fan, plus all the fans out there who are supporting David Bolton's new song Odofufro, and those who help during the making of the song, and everyone.
And hey,
That's
watch
it.
out for the video.
Yes, this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yep, on the red carpet, 3:30. The very first time the video is being premiered, and
Yeah.
it's something very different. It's not your usual music video. This is really telling a story.
Top notch.
Top notch.
It's a
Can't wait for
DKB
that.
team.
It's a DKB team. Thank you very much for
Alvin.
Thank you very much for coming through. It's been an amazing time. David and Rush, thanks for joining us right here, and thanks for
having us.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for
sharing
Thank
so
you.
much knowledge and for inspiring our youth. It's been the Cruise Control, the biggest drive time show on radio. My name is Mercury Quay, the 10-Up General. Thanks to the Donor for Dons for coming through on You Say Waiting, to my Gizo. On What's Up in Town, coming up next is going to be Dr. Pounds. He's got the Hits Gallery show coming right here on 103.9 FM.